The September Curse. The Mall Jumpers. Did you know there was a strange period in Thailand when bizarre incidents began happening all at once? Different people in different places at different times, but they all ended the same way. They jumped from malls. Some say it was just coincidence, but others believe it was something else. A pull, a dark force, lurking within the malls, calling out for the next one to follow. Tonight, I'll take you through true events that happened in several malls across the country, a string of tragedies that many have come to call the mall jumping curse. Incident 1. On May 15th, 2025, around 12:20 a.m., a 24-year-old man jumped from the 6th floor parking lot of a well-known shopping mall in Ramintra, Bangkok. He died instantly. His shoes were left neatly beside the rail. It was later discovered he had visited the same spot before, with the same intention. Incident 2. On September 12th, 2025, around 8:30 p.m., a 21-year-old man was caught secretly filming under a woman's skirt at a popular mall in Bangkok, Nonthaburi. While security and the victim were checking his device, he suddenly bolted to the 4th floor balcony and jumped. Inside his iPad were multiple clips of hidden recordings. He succumbed to his injuries soon after. Incident 3. On September 16th, 2025, at 7:30 p.m., a middle-aged woman around 45 to 50 years old fell from the 2nd floor parking area of a mall in Ladprao, Bangkok. She died at the scene. It was never confirmed whether it was an accident or suicide. No ID was found on her body. Incident 4. At 8:10 p.m., September 19th, 2025, a woman fell from the 6th floor of a mall in Rama 9, Bangkok, down to the basement supermarket level. She was still breathing when found, but unconscious. A chair was left near the rail, and a pair of women's sandals beside it. She had come with a man who was detained for questioning. The cause? Undetermined. They were from different malls, but they all chose to end in the same way. 4 deaths in less than 40 days. All happened during evening to night hours, or after mall closing. All in large multi-level malls. All left behind shoes or personal belongings neatly placed near the rail. In some CCTV footage, there were shadows, figures that shouldn't have been there. That's when people started whispering. Maybe it wasn't coincidence. Maybe there was something moving from mall to mall, a dark presence that called out to the next soul. The structures of all 4 malls were similar. Open central atriums, tall glass railings, echoing floors. Security guards who worked late at night said, when the mall gets quiet, you can hear footsteps from the upper floors, even though no one's there. And strangely, that sound would always return on the same day someone had fallen, as if something had come back to take the next one. Some psychologists call it suicide contagion, when a publicized suicide triggers others in distress to follow, subconsciously drawn to the same act. But in the darker version, it's not a mental echo, it's a spiritual one. The spirit of the first victim calling others to join. Each item left behind, the shoes, the chair, the rail, became symbols of that connection. Residual energy imprinted in the last moment before death, waiting for the next person to touch it and awaken the curse again. So, if it's not coincidence, what would you call it? That's where Mook's story begins. The investigation. Creak, creak. The sound of rubber soles echoed across the dim hallway of the nearly darkened mall. Mook, do we really have to go up there? The young cameraman's voice trembled. Yes, just a few shots. We'll be done soon, Mook. A field reporter known for her online investigative show on the supernatural lifted her recording mic. That night, she and her cameraman, were granted permission to film inside a well-known mall in Rama 9 at the exact site where a woman had recently fallen. Recording log, September 24th, 10:37 p.m. I'm at the Rama 9 mall. The woman fell from the 5th floor rail, north wing. Witnesses say she stood staring down for a long time before climbing over. Mook thought it was just another tragic accident until she looked deeper and found 3 previous cases within a month. Different people, different malls, same act, same floor. It couldn't be coincidence anymore. Hey, Mook, come see this. It pointed at a faint, dark stain on the tile near the rail. Old blood. This is where she fell? He asked. Mook nodded. Yes. 5th floor, north rail. She raised her mic to record. The flickering fluorescent light above twisted their shadows across the floor, and for a brief second, there were 3 shadows. It frowned. Mook, did you see that? See what? There was another shadow. He glanced around. Empty. All stores closed. Only dim emergency lights remained. Don't overthink it, Mook muttered. Just a few more takes. But then, a sound rose from below. Soft slaps against tile. Flop, flop, flop. The sound of rubber sandals. It peered down. Nothing. The atrium below was empty. Mook stepped closer to the rail. The cold metal sent a chill through her arm. And then she felt a pull, gentle but unmistakable. A whisper brushed her ear. Have you ever stood here before? She jumped, scanning around. No one. Did you hear that? Hear what? Someone whispered to me. Probably just echo, he said, forcing a laugh. But when he looked back at the rail, there was a fresh handprint. Small, damp, recently placed. Later, in the van, Mook replayed the audio she'd recorded. Her own voice came through clearly, until something else overlapped. Mook, this is the exact spot where the woman fell. Unknown female voice, don't look down. Mook froze, her hands trembled. It listened too, but he heard nothing. The voice was only on her playback. That night, around 1 a.m., Mook sat in her condo on the 20th floor, editing the clip. When she zoomed in on the waveform, she heard it again. A faint breath, followed by the sound of sandals dragging across a wet floor. Then came a whisper, "Look down." The lights flickered, then everything went dark. The next day, Mook called the mall's security chief, Uncle Sak. He spoke in a low, serious tone. "You know, miss, that wasn't the first fall from that floor. It started last year." "Last year? But there were no reports." "There was a staff boy. CCTV caught him walking to the same rail. But when we searched the whole night, we never found the body." "What do you mean, never found it?" "Gone. Just gone. Only thing left was the sound of sandals walking every night after closing." That evening, Mook returned to the mall, alone. Empty corridors, lights flickering faintly. She looked up, 5th floor. A few lights blinked, like someone walking past. She lifted her phone to record again, but before she could speak, the flop, flop, flop began again. Behind her, she turned, nothing. But on the floor lay a pair of white sandals, stained with a dark, dried liquid. Wet footprints led upstairs. She followed. September 25th, 8:52 p.m. I'm going up to the 5th floor. Something's here. Dim light barely illuminated the hall. By the rail stood a woman in a pale dress, facing away, long hair covering her face. Mook raised her phone light, and in that instant, the woman turned. Skin pale as ash, eyes entirely white. Her mouth, torn at one corner, moved slowly. "Look down." Mook screamed. Her phone hit the floor, screen cracked, still recording. And the voice whispered again, "Don't look down, because she's already there." 2 days later, Mook still couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the same woman, standing at the rail, whispering the same words. Her apartment windows were often open when she woke, even though she was sure she'd locked them. Then it called. "Pamook, I rechecked our footage from that night. You need to see something." At the office, it played the clip frame by frame. The shot showed Mook and him filming near the 5th floor rail, but in the reflection on the polished tile behind them stood another woman, long hair, pale dress, reaching toward Mook's arm. "Wait, we were alone that night, right?" Mook whispered. "Absolutely. Security was on the other side of the floor." "Then who was she?" That night, Mook tried recording again, speaking to whatever was on the tape. "Who are you? What do you want from me? Did you fall from there?" The room fell silent. Then a whisper through her speaker. "Help me." The next day, she met Uncle Sak again, this time to view the CCTV from the control room. The footage showed the woman who'd fallen, walking with a man to the 5th floor. Everything seemed normal. Then, while he answered a phone call, she turned toward the rail and spoke to someone unseen. Her lips formed the words, "Are you down there?" Then she climbed over and vanished. Mook rewound the footage 1 minute earlier. There, in the reflection of the shop window opposite, stood a pale woman in the same dress. But when Mook zoomed in, the reflected face wasn't the victim's. It was hers. Her blood ran cold. She backed away from the screen. Uncle Sak frowned. "You okay, miss?" Mook didn't answer. She opened her phone camera and saw, behind her reflection, someone else standing there. When she turned, no one. That night, thunder shook the city. Mook came home drenched, only to find water tracks across the balcony floor. And there, wet footprints, smaller than her own. When lightning flashed, she saw a figure standing outside. The same pale woman, looking down. Mook whispered, "You again." The woman slowly lifted her head, blood dripping from her eyes, mouth torn and trembling. "Look down." Her phone rang suddenly. Its name appeared on the screen. She answered, eyes still on the balcony. "Pamuk, don't go near the balcony." "How do you know?" I reviewed another camera angle from that night. In the footage, I saw you standing at the rail. "What are you saying?" "The night that woman jumped, there was another figure across the atrium. I zoomed in. It was you. The line cut. The lights went out." In the dark, Mook heard slow, wet footsteps approaching from the balcony. Flop, flop, flop. Then a whisper against her ear. "We're not done yet. You need to look down first." She screamed, but the storm outside drowned her voice. September 26th, 11:49 p.m. I saw myself in the dead woman's footage. If anyone hears this recording, don't look down. A week later, Mook vanished. No calls, no replies. Her colleagues assumed she'd taken leave to recover, but it didn't believe that. He returned to the Rama 9 Mall one rainy night, carrying only his camera and Mook's notebook left on her desk. On the first page, in shaky handwriting, "Something's on the 5th floor, and it knows my name." He slipped past the guards. The mall was as empty as ever. Only a few lights flickered. Wind whispered through the vents like voices. He climbed to the 5th floor, the same blood-stained rail, and beside it, a pair of white sandals. He placed his camera on the floor and hit record. Then static, and the voice, "Look down." "It's you, Mook, isn't it?" he said. "I'm here." The camera captured only the empty hall, but in the window reflection opposite, a woman stood there. Long hair, pale shirt. It was Mook. Her eyes, pure white. Her lips trembled. "Help me. I can't leave. She's behind me." "She? Who?" "The first one." The glass behind her began to crack. Then another shadow moved up behind her, the pale woman with long hair, torn face. She placed her hand on Mook's shoulder, whispering, "Don't be afraid. You'll be with us soon." Mook screamed. The glass shattered. The lights died. It ran down the stairs, but behind him the sound of sandals followed. Flop, 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 flop. He hid in a storage room, tried calling the police. No signal. Then a knock on the door. Thud, thud. "It. Open up." Her voice. "Mook, is that you?" "Yes, it's me. Open the door." The voice was soft, too soft, cold. He hesitated. "If you don't open, I'll look down first." His heart froze. He knew what that meant. "No, don't do it." Laughter. "You brought me here." A loud crash echoed from below. The alarm went off. It ran out, but no one was there. Only Mook's phone lying beside the rail, still recording. He picked it up and hit play. He's here, in every floor, every mirror. Every time someone looks down, they see themselves in a place they shouldn't be. It was never seen again. His camera was later found in the control room. In the final frame, he's holding the camera toward the rail. In the opposite reflection, Mook stands there, smiling. Your turn. Months later, the Rama 9 Mall was quietly shut down for renovation, officially due to reputation damage, but janitors working night shifts said otherwise. They still hear footsteps, sandals dragging, and a woman's whisper echoing from the 5th floor. Look down. No one knows whose voice it is. Some say it's the first woman who fell. Others that it's Mook, still trapped there. But one thing's certain. If you ever walk past that mall at night and hear flop, flop, flop behind you, don't turn around, because the one standing at the rail might just be you. Every story has an ending, but a curse never does. It only waits for the next one. And tonight, it might be your turn.